Science Verse by John Scieszka and Lane Smith. Science Verse. On Wednesday in science class, Mr. Newton says, "You know, if you listen closely enough, you can hear the poetry of science in everything." I listen closely. On Thursday, I start hearing the poetry. In fact, I start hearing everything as a science poem. Mr. Newton has zapped me with a curse of science verse. Evolution. Glory, glory, evolution. Darwin found us a solution. Your mama is that shape, and your knuckles always scrape, 'cause Grandpa was an ape. Water cycle. It's raining, it's pouring, for H2O it's boring. Precipitation, evaporation, precipitation, evaporation, precipitation, evaporation, evening, night, and morning. Lovely. I think that I ain't ever seen a poem as ugly as a spleen. A poem that could make you shiver like 3.5 pounds of liver. A poem to make you lose your lunch, to tie your intestines in a bunch. A poem all gray, wet, and swollen like a stomach or a colon. Something like your kidney, lung, pancreas, bladder, even dung. Why you turning green, good buddy? It's just human body study. Twink. Twinkle less, spot of black and starry zodiac. Sucking in all matter and light, turning sunshine into night. Twinkle less, lost control. Now we're trapped in the black hole. Dinosaur. Once in first grade I was napping when I heard a scary yapping. Frightful word, worse than slapping, worse than 20 T-Rex roars. Said our teacher, heartless creature, my class, you know, always explores 10 full weeks of dinosaurs. Pterodactyls, stegosaurs, on and on the same old chorus. Elementary stuff to bore us, no more, we beg. She ignores. Yes, she smiles, they were reptiles. Then locks the windows, bolts the doors. Don't you just love dinosaurs? Every year the scene repeated. 3rd grade, 4th grade, we were greeted with the torture just completed. Yes, we've heard of carnivores. Still the teachers changed no features, still spoke those words that gave us brain sores. This year's topic, dinosaurs. It's still a mystery, scientists say, why the dinosaurs went away. But I know why they couldn't stay, and it wasn't meteors. It was the creatures, yes, those teachers who did the work of 50 wars and bored to death dinosaurs. Food chain. I've been working in the food chain all the livelong day. In the middle of the food chain, I've got no time to play. Can't you see the green plants growing? That's energy, okay? Consumer eats up the producer, predator eats prey. Who's for lunch today? Who's for lunch today? Don't you wonder who's for lunch today? Predator or prey, eat or be eaten, that's the only way. Gobbledygooky. 'Twas fructose and the vitamins, did zinc and dye, red number 8, and all poly were the thiamines and the carbohydrate. Beware the gobbledygook, my son, the flavorings, the added C. Beware the serving size and shun the dreaded BHT. And as in frolic thought I stood, the gobbledygook with eyes nitrate came gluten through the dextrose wood, its extracts carbonate. Oh, can you slay the gobbledygook, polysaturated boy? 3,000 calories, don't look, the sugar's fats, oh soy! 'Twas fructose and the vitamins, did zinc and dye, red number 8. All poly were the thiamines and the carbohydrate. Why scientists don't write nursery rhymes. Hey diddle diddle. Hey diddle diddle, what kind of riddle is the nature of a light? Sometimes it's a wave, other times a particle, but which answer will be marked right? Mary had a little worm. She thought it was a chigger, but everything that Mary ate only made it bigger. It came with her to school one day and gave the kids a fright, especially when the teacher said, "Now that's a parasite." Jack be nimble. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack jump over a combustion reaction of O2 plus heat plus fuel to form CO2 plus light plus heat plus exhaust. Good night. Good night, sleep tight, don't let the bedbug, tick, or louse suck blood from you, hatch its eggs, and then develop the larva on you, alright? Scientific method at the bat. The outlook wasn't brilliant for my experiment that day. The only way to graduate was to come up with an A. So when my lab exploded and turned to black as gunk, my chance of passing anything went Titanic, sunk. I sat and sadly watched the clock, cursed to be alive. It would take a miracle, no make that too, to get me to grade 5. Then I had a brainstorm, an idea so terrific. I just had to use those words from the method scientific. I grabbed my pen and got to work. You should see my look. I slowly write hypothesis, observation in my book. And now the class bell rings, and now I lose or win. With one mighty plop, I hand my lab book in. Oh, somewhere in some science class, hypotheses are made. Experiments are conducted, kids move up a grade. Somewhere conclusions are concluded without a hint of doubt. But there is no joy in this lab. My results got me flunked out. Skeletal study. There once was a man of science, not one of your mental giants. He decided to settle the question, does metal fix an electrical appliance? You're it. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a virus, watch it grow. Once it's got you, it won't go. Eeny, meeny, my, oh no. Minnehaha, or the atomic joke is on you. From the shining Big Sea water to the trees near Gitche Gumby, everything is made of atoms, the tiny things that you cannot see. Though I have just one small question, I don't ask just to blame them. Scientists can't see these things, so how the heck can they name them? Nucleus they call the center, made of parts that they call protons. And more itty-bitty pieces, go ahead and call them neutrons, flavored quarks, electrons, bosons. Things could hardly get more doofy. I think we make up our own names, but let's make them way more goofy. Let's call the proton Wawa, the electron Mano Mihi. Call the neutron the Winona. Who will know? They're so teeny. Yes, then let us call the atom something new, like Hiawatha. That will be our really small joke. That will be our mini Hana. What's the matter? Miss Lucy had some matter. She didn't know its state. She only had 3 choices, so she tried to get it straight. She thought it could be a liquid or possibly a gas, and if it wasn't solid, well, call me sassafras. Miss Lucy called the plumber. Miss Lucy called the cop. Miss Lucy called the egghead with a perfectly bald top. Liquid, said the plumber. Solid, said the cop. Gas, said the egghead. With the perfectly bald, top, top, top. The senseless lab of Professor Revere. Listen, my children, and you shall hear of loud noises go in your ear. And look, my youngsters, bright lights will be the way you figure out how to see. And feel, my students, is that too much? With gopher guts you learn about touch. And chew, my kiddies, oh what a waste. That frog eye stew was for you to taste. And sniff, my scientists, ain't it just swell how 10-year-old cheese demonstrates smell. So, those are your senses. Class is done. Next week, diseases. Won't that be fun? Amoeba. Don't ever tease a wee amoeba by calling her amoeba, and don't call her a he amoeba, or never he a she amoeba, 'cause whether his or hers amoeba, they too feel like you and me amoeba. Changes. I'm a little mealworm, short and wiggly. Here's my antenna, cute and jiggly. Now I'm a pupa, squat and white. How did this happen? I'm a sight. Now I'm a beetle. What is this? I really hate metamorphosis. 'Twas the night. 'Twas the night before anything, and all through deep space nothing existed, time, matter, or place. No stockings, no chimneys, it was hotter than hot. Everything was compressed in one very dense dot, when out of the nothing there appeared with a clatter a fat guy with reindeer and something the matter. His nose was all runny, he gave a sick hack. Oh, Dasher, oh, Dancer, I can't hold it back. He huffed and he snuffed and he sneezed one achoo! Then, like 10 jillion volcanoes, the universe blew. That dense dot exploded, spewing out stars, Earth, Venus, Jupiter, Uranus, and Mars. Helium, hydrogen, the mountains and seas, the chicken, the egg, the birds, and the bees. Yesterday's newspapers, tomorrow's burnt toast. Protons and neutrons, your grandma's pork roast. The universe expanded, the guy said with a wheeze. Who will ever believe the world started by sneeze? So let's call it something much grander, all right. Merry Big Bang to all, and to all gazoon tight. Astronaut stopping by a planet on a snowy evening. Which world this is, I do not know. It's in our solar system, though. I'm thinking that it might be Mars because of that reddish glow. But you know it could be Venus, and if that's true, then just between us, it might be wise to leave before any locals might have seen us. It could be Pluto, might be Neptune. Don't they both have more than one moon? I'm running out of oxygen. I'd better figure this out soon. Yes, space is lovely, dark and deep. For one mistake I now do weep. In science class I was asleep. In science class I was asleep. Asleep, asleep, it's science class, I am asleep. Whack goes Mr. Newton's pointer on the blackboard. And that, my scientist, is a solar system. Test tomorrow on the planets, class dismiss. Awake, awake, I am awake. I'm thinking in regular sentences. I'm not rhyming anymore. I'm cured of my science first. The universe is beautiful, and life is just great. Until art class, when Mr. Picasso says, "Do not think of this little art project. Your art project must be your whole life."